Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Vanessa Bowman. I'm the benefits manager here at Family Care Center. Thank you all for joining. We are in the thick of open enrollment this week and early part of next week for a January 1 effective date. So we wanted to put on open enrollment meetings for everyone, just kind of introduce what's new, what's changing, not very many changes. And just kind of go through the benefits so you guys can make informed decisions. We do have our benefit consultants on the line, IMA. We have Anna and we have Charlene from IMA on the call. Anna will be going over the presentation for you all this morning, and then between all of us, we'll be monitoring the chat. If you have questions, feel free to put those questions in the chat and we'll get a response to you. Or if you want to come off mute and ask your question out loud, or if you want to wait till the very end, we will open it up for question and answers at the very end. So feel free to ask any questions. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Anna so she can get started on the presentation. And here we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Vanessa, and good morning, everybody. Thanks for jumping online and taking the time out of your day to about your benefit offerings and what's new for 2025. Again, as Vanessa mentioned, if you have any questions as we're going through this presentation, we've got your FCC team on the line. We have our IMA broker side on the line. So please do not hesitate to reach out and ask questions. I actually really encourage it. You can give me a break from talking, so that would be great. But again, we just want to jump into it here. We want to start out with making the announcement that there are some open enrollment giveaways. So we want to reward you for taking the time to join this call and learn more about your benefits. So if you all could just take a moment to navigate to the FCC Cares app, where you can self-attest that you attended this webinar. And it's going to give you a chance to win some fun, cool prizes that FCC has decided to kind of incentivize you guys for this open enrollment. So again, take a moment to do that as we're walking through this benefits presentation, and we'll just jump right into it. So brief agenda during this presentation, we're going to take a quick look at what is changing. As Vanessa mentioned, there's really not too many changes, but we'll call those out. For the 2025 plan year, we'll talk about some important dates and reminders for open enrollment, and we're going to look at really just all the benefits that are available for you to enroll in and elect and change, and then we're going to go over some next steps here. And questions. Okay, so what's changing for 2025? Again, not too many major changes going into the new plan year. One of the ones that is probably going to be the biggest shift that you'll notice is that new calendar plan year. So we're moving your plan year to January 1st to December 31st, so that 2025 calendar plan year. Your plan accumulators, which are your deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums, already reset each January. So that's not going to be anything new to how your plan currently runs. It's just aligning everything, which is a convenient way to consolidate your benefits here. New, effective immediately, is access to a benefits advocate through IMA. So this is an Ask Charlie service that you can call or email and talk with a benefits expert for any benefits related questions you might have. And we'll get into some details with that in a couple slides. Next, you're going to notice that your medical plan is remaining with Cigna for 2025. You'll notice that the deductible on that high deductible health plan has increased slightly to $3,300 for an individual deductible, and that's $6,600 for a family deductible. And that's really just due to IRS regulations. Network options remain the same for 2025, so you have the option to choose between the Open Access Plus or the OAP network, or you can choose that narrower Local Plus network. Reminder that Cigna is asking you to choose between a Walgreens or CVS as an anchor pharmacy, and we'll get into some more details with that as well. And then just a note here as well on the flexible spending account and the health savings accounts. Those IRS maximums are also increasing for 2025. So you'll see that the FSA is increasing to $3,300. That's a maximum amount that you as an employee can contribute. And then the HSA will increase to $4,300 for an individual tier and $8,550 for family. All other benefits and coverage are going to remain the same, and we'll touch on all of those as well. Okay, so as mentioned, active enrollment here. So open enrollment has started as of Monday and will be running through Wednesday of next week, which is November 13th. You do need to log in to Dayforce to re-elect your coverage. So that's something that FCC is requiring you all to do, just so that you can get into the system and understand your benefits and make those active elections. Reminder that during this period, you can make changes to any of these benefit plans here, add or remove dependents, and ensure that your beneficiary information is up to date. It's important to note as well that anything that you enroll in within this week will be your election for 2025, and that will be locked in for that plan year unless you have a qualifying life event. So qualifying life events are going to be events such as marriage or divorce, birth or adoption, loss or gain of other coverage, change in employment status, or dependent status. So that's the only opportunity that during 2025 you would really be able to adjust your coverage. So just keep that in mind as you're enrolling for 2025. Okay. To start to get into some resources here, so Ask Charlie. So this is, again, a new service. So you as an employee have access to this team of IMA dedicated benefit advocates. They are ready and available to help support you and any of your covered family members with any of your benefit related questions. They can really help with, a full list of items here. So they can help explain your benefits, locating in-network providers, help navigate some billing and claims issues, and they can even help navigate Dayforce for you. So if you have questions on where to click within the system, they can help guide you through that. All right. Eligibility. So just a quick call out to eligibility. So all full-time employees working 30 hours per week or more, as well as part-time employees working between 20 to 29 hours are eligible. Just keep in mind that eligible family members include your spouse, common law spouse, domestic partners, your children, and the children of your domestic partner up to the age of 26, as well as any children of any age who are physically or mentally unable to care for themselves. Open enrollment, so online enrollment, as mentioned, Dayforce is going to be your system that you are going to be required to log into. So just make sure that you navigate to that site and complete your online enrollment by November 13th. A couple pieces of information that you might need are going to be dependent date of births and social security numbers. So just keep in mind if you're enrolling new dependents, you might want to grab that information before you jump into your enrollment. Okay. So jumping into your medical plan information here. So you do have the option of choosing to participate in either high deductible health plan, which is going to be that HDHP, or a preferred provider organization plan, which is that PPO. Reminder, these plans are still administered through Cigna, so no change there. And both will offer the choice of the Open Access Plus or Local Plus networks and offer in-network coverage only. So the OAP network is Cigna's largest national network, while the Local Plus network is slightly narrower, local to your community. To differentiate a little bit between these two plans, if you are someone who tends to not go to the doctor very often or utilize your medical plan often, that left side column, that high deductible health plan, could be a great choice for you. What's going to happen with that plan is you'll pay less out of your paycheck each month for coverage, but if and when you do utilize the plan, you'll be paying a little bit more out of pocket at the time of care, as there are no co-pays that are associated with that plan. With the high deductible health plan, you can also contribute pre-tax dollars into your health savings account or a limited purpose FSA, and we'll get into some details with that in a little bit as well. On the flip side of that, if you are someone that is a high utilizer of your medical benefits, or you just genuinely like the consistency of having a copay for most services and prescriptions, that PPO plan could be a good choice for you as well. Reminder that the healthcare FSA is also associated with this plan, so that is another pre-tax account where you can put those payroll dollars. An additional service that we want to call out that is available to you is Cigna One Guide. So this is a representative through Cigna that you can reach out to, and they really can help you understand the basics of your health coverage, help identify which plans are available to you, check in-network doctors to help minimize some costs for you, and then just really any general questions about the plan that you might have or which plan might be best for you. This is different from that Ask Charlie service. This is going to be specific to your medical plans. So just keep that in mind when you're reaching out to the Cigna One Guide representative. Okay, let's talk about network briefly. So Cigna has collaborated with healthcare communities to create local providers, specialists, and hospitals that all form that local plus network in your area. So this map is just a high-level overview where you can see some of those pockets of that nationwide coverage in the case of an emergency. And here to the right are instructions on how you can check if your provider or maybe a suitable alternate provider falls into that local plus network. So if you want to see if you're changing to that local plus network, it might be a good fit for you and your family. You can just follow those steps and see where you might be able to find a doctor in your area. Okay. So we've talked a little bit more on a high-level overview so far of your medical insurance plans, but this is really going to give us some more of those in-depth details here. So on that left-hand column, you're going to see that benefit column. Those are going to be the different types of services that are associated with this plan. In that middle column, you're going to see that high deductible health plan with HSA, and then that right-hand column is going to be your PPO. So those are your couple of plan options there. Let's start with that high deductible health plan on the left. That's going to be that plan where you only receive services from providers within the network. You'll see that that individual deductible is $3,300 and that family deductible is $6,600. Let's note that that deductible on this plan is what's known as an embedded deductible. So what that means is that once family members meet their own individual deductible, their claims will be covered under the plan coinsurance of 0%, which is that second tier there for medical coverage. And then if the family deductible has been met by other family members prior to your individual deductible being met, your claims will also be paid at the plan coinsurance of 0%. And then let's take note of that third column as well here, or third row here, that $6,600 individual out-of-pocket maximum, as well as a $13,200 family out-of-pocket maximum. Once you reach that out-of-pocket max, that's bolded right there, all of your in-network services, including prescription drugs, will be actually covered 100% by Cigna. So that's the max amount that you're going to be on the line for. Remember, with the high deductible health plan option, there is no first dollar coverage. So you are responsible for all costs until you meet your deductible, and then your co-insurance kicks in. On the right here is that PPO plan. So jumping over, this plan also has in-network coverage only through that Cigna Open Access Plus network or the Local Plus network. The deductible is slightly higher here, so you're going to see that $6,000 individual deductible with a family deductible of $12,000. And this is also an embedded deductible. Note that on this plan here, you're going to see that new term listed. It's that copay. And so what that really means is that if you're going into that office visit, the max amount that you're going to have to pay out of pocket is going to be that $30 copay. And then that $60 copay for any specialist visits. And you can kind of see as well as you continue to go down, urgent care, $25 copay. Again, that's the max amount that you're going to be subject to for using those services. Out-of-pocket maximums for this PPO plan are $8,550 for an individual and $17,100 for a family. Same thing with this plan. Once you reach that out-of-pocket maximum, all services covered at 100%. Both plans also offer preventive care services at 100%. So really what that means is that's just us encouraging you guys to go into your providers and get those annual wellness visits done. So check and use your coverage and know that those are going to be covered at 100%. Okay, I'm seeing that we have some questions in the chat. So I'm going to take a moment. So how do we know what the out-of-pocket max is for the high deductible health plan? So the out-of-pocket maximum is going to be that $6,600 for individual and $13,200 for family. Oh, Vanessa, looks like you got that one. Thank you.
No worries. Yes.
Curious what category physical therapy is in. We can dig into that one, but I believe that should also be in your benefit guide as well and listed on those plan detailed documents through DForce as well. As that maternity. Oops,
I just took a quick look at the physical therapy that's under outpatient therapy services. So on the PPO plan, that's going to be your flat copay of $30. But on the high deductible health plan, it'll be subject to deductible and coinsurance.
Perfect. And then maternity coverage, is that covered under a specific category? We can dig into the plan documents for that question as well. Charlene, I don't know if you want to look into that one while I continue on here.
Yeah, I'm looking into it right now.
Perfect. Thank you. I love teamwork. And then we're continuing to get some questions here. So behavioral health appointments considered specialist visits. So that has gone up then. All good questions. And I'm going to continue to let those flow through the chat as we dig into those.
Yeah, we'll answer those in the chat.
Perfect. All right. So to keep going here, prescription coverage, it is different with each of these Cigna plans. So just a slight breakdown here of cost by prescription drug tier. On that high deductible health plan, you need to meet your deductible first, and then your coinsurance is going to kick in. So again, that coinsurance is a cost share. So the plan is going to be paying 80% of that, while you're going to be paying the remaining 20% of those costs. Once you've met your out-of-pocket maximum, as we mentioned before, then your plan is going to be paying at 100%. With the PPO plan, you again have those copays listed. So those will all apply until that out-of-pocket maximum is met. And I would encourage you guys, if you have questions about specific medications and their level of coverage, that's a great resource for the Cigna One Guide service to reach out to them and chat through some of those options available to you. And then just a reminder here on that pharmacy Cigna, so the anchor pharmacy requirement, so it's again going to be CVS or Walgreens. If you're enrolling for the first time and do not choose to designate between one or the other, your default by FCC will be CVS. If at any point you need to review or change that, you can always call the back of the number on your ID card, and then you can adjust that as needed or determine if that works for where you currently are. Infertility benefits, to touch on this briefly here. So this is a benefit that's continuing to be offered in 2025. And this benefit really covers any of the procedures listed on this slide. So to access a more detailed listing, you do have some resources in your SharePoint folders through FCC. And so you can take a look at those coverage policies, which are going to also explain really in depth what is available to you and what is covered under this benefit. Telehealth. So Cigna's partnering with MD Live. So this is going to be your virtual visits. So for any minor medical care, wellness screenings, behavioral and mental health visits and dermatology. I think I saw one question in the chat about behavioral health visits. Utilize your virtual visits and your virtual care here. So you can talk to a doctor from your mobile device or computer. Doctor can even write you a prescription if you need to pick that up quickly at your local pharmacy. There is a cost share for virtual benefits, and that's just dependent on the services that you're utilizing. And both your Cigna website, so if you go to mycigna.com, or if you go to the app, that's going to display some member-specific cost share information with you so that you have that full transparency. And then just another call out that preventive care is covered 100% through the medical plan and is also available virtually through MD Live at a time that really is just convenient for you. So there's no reason to not take advantage of that. Okay, know before you go. So this is just a high level overview, and it can look a little overwhelming because there's a lot of words and text on this slide, but really the premise of this is just to let you know that you have some options where you can go when you need some certain medical services or emergencies. Reminder that your virtual care is going to be your lower cost and time saver. And then if you're kind of creeping up into the urgent care emergency room needs, your time and costs are going to be slightly greater. So just a reminder that if you have a cold, you don't need to rush to the emergency room. Okay, so additional Cigna resources. So we've mentioned a couple before already, but just again, calling out the mycigna.com website. Feel free to jump into that site and explore and navigate that. It's really considered your one-stop shop for being able to find providers, comparing costs, locating claims information. You can access personal health assessments, view your account balance information, view and pay claims, really anything and everything. That's going to be, again, your one-stop shop. Prior authorization, to chat about this a little bit here. So what is prior authorization? So in healthcare, this is a requirement that a provider is obtaining approval from your health insurance plan, which would be Cigna, before prescribing a medication to you or performing certain medical procedures. So without this prior approval, access to a certain medication or service could be delayed or denied. Note that that is typically handled by your provider. However, you can at times help expedite that process. Really just talk with your provider, see if they recommend a certain procedure or treatment and check if that prior authorization is needed. Again, you can use that Cigna One Guide representative or call that number on the back of your ID card. Okay, the big question that we're all asking but haven't asked yet is how much is this going to cost me? So here just highlights the full-time 30+ hour per week premiums. We'll jump to the part-time in the next slide here, but just want to call out that potential premium cost savings column on the very bottom here. So that's the difference of that local plus network savings. And so we just want to call that out. That's an opportunity for you to potentially take those tax contribution amounts and potentially put those towards your health savings account. So that's just an idea or suggestion, but we just wanted to make that highlight as well. And then part-time 20 to 29 hours per week. Again, the opportunity for some premium cost savings. All right, great. Shifting slightly here. So we just talked about all the great benefits of your medical plans, but now we're going to jump into the health savings account. So a couple of weeks ago, we had some really educational and great webinars about what the HSA is and how to use it. So really, if you're enrolling in that Cigna high deductible health plan, you're eligible to open and fund an HSA. This is an account that you own that you can use for out-of-pocket healthcare expenses with your pre-tax dollars. You are responsible for opening the account and determining how much you want to contribute. So that money is yours to contribute and yours to spend on any eligible medical expenses. Just note here a couple requirements for eligibility here, but even if you ever wanted to, take those funds with you, the nice thing about that health savings account is that you never lose those funds. So you always take your balance with you. It can roll over. There is no use it or lose it rule. And then again, there are some triple tax advantages. So your contributions, earnings, and withdrawals are all eligible expenses and all tax-free. I'd encourage you to take a look at ThrivePass. So this is, again, a no change for who's administering your HSA. There's a full list of eligible items that you can use those funds towards on ThrivePass's website, as well as an hsastore.com site. So if you're curious about what you can use those funds for and want to see some more in-depth options, again, just take a moment to do that research. Here's just a high-level overview. So FCC has chosen to contribute to that health savings account on your behalf. So they are funding a portion of that annual 2025 IRS limit. So for employee-only coverage tiers, they're choosing to contribute an annual contribution of $300. For employee plus spouse, you'll receive $600 annually. And then anyone in a family coverage tier would be receiving $900 annually. If you're over the age of 55, you do have the option to contribute an additional $1,000. It's a catch-up contribution. And just note that the IRS annual contribution limit here includes that from both your employee, so what you're choosing to set aside, and your employer. So when you're making those benefit enrollment elections and choosing a per pay amount to contribute, just keep that in mind that FCC is also funding that. Okay, shifting to the flexible spending account, so the FSA, very similar to the HSA, but there are some slight differences here. So with the FSA, there is a use it or lose it rule. So if at the end of next year you still have funds in your account, there's potential that you could be forfeiting those funds. There is a allowed rollover of $660. So that's going to help protect some of those funds, but just keep in mind that you need to be a little bit more calculated and strategic with the amount that you're choosing to contribute to that account as of for 2025. This is also still administered through ThrivePass, and there are quite a few resources on that site that will also list out those eligible expenses. And for both the HSA and FSA, just a nice reminder here, keep those receipts. There's potential that you might need to validate or verify what you've been using those funds for. And so we just want to make sure that you're holding on to those receipts in the case that you ever need those. And then just a brief breakdown here. So all the different types of spending accounts. So again, the healthcare FSA, which we mentioned. There's also the limited purpose healthcare FSA that's going to be tied to your high deductible health plan. So if you're enrolling in HSA, you are not eligible for the FSA, but you can participate in the limited purpose FSA. So make sure we know that distinction there. And then there's dependent care FSA as well. So this is a benefit that you can use to pay for eligible dependent care expenses such as childcare, but your maximum limit for that plan is also $5,000. And then because all these accounts are administered through ThrivePass, we just want to call out that there are some tools and resources through the system as well. So this really allows you to view your account information, check your balances, file claims, order cards if you lose them, because we all lose things, upload receipts, manage your investments, and really just much more. So definitely take advantage and register your account if you have any open accounts with ThrivePass. I'm just taking a quick moment. It looks like our chat is being administered. So thank you, Charlene and Vanessa. I'm going to keep going here. Okay, moving on to dental. So no change here. Your dental is still administered through Unum. You have the option of choosing a base dental plan or enhanced buy-up dental plan. Both plans are offering in and out of network coverage. Just keep in mind again that that in-network dentist is going to have the deepest discounts for you. Calendar year deductibles. So we have a deductible again with this plan. So it's going to be $50 for individuals and $150 for families on both of those plans. Preventive services, again, covered at 100%. And then if you kind of go down here to the basic care column and row here, you're going to see that that base plan is covered at 80% after your deductible. So that means there's a 20% cost share that you're responsible for. And then 90% after deductible on that buy-up plan. For major care services, you're going to be covered at 50% on that base plan and 60% on that buy-up. And then for anyone on that base plan, you do not have the benefit of orthodontia, but you do, however, have that on that buy-up plan. So it's going to be 50% up to that $1,500 annual maximum. Note that once you meet that maximum, you are responsible for 100% of your dental costs for the remainder of that plan year.
Hey, Stacy, this is also Stacy. I was calling to see if I could reschedule that appointment that was canceled today with Trinity for a haircut.
Oh, sorry about that. Let me look for the mute button.
I got her.
Okay, thanks.
I hope she gets her haircut scheduled. But moving on to dental network providers, just to keep jumping into it. Again, in-network is going to be your highest cost savings. So if you want to discover if you have a dental provider currently in-network, again, navigate to unumdentalcare.com and just do some research and get that information. Here we go. Dental premiums. So full-time premiums here per paycheck and monthly listed down at the bottom. Again, no change here. And all of this information is also listed, and this is your 20 to 29 part-time hours. All of this information is listed in Dayforce and your benefit guide. So we definitely encourage you guys to flip through that. Tools and resources available. Vision. So again, continued through Unum and IMED. And so this plan is using the IMED Insight Network. No changes to this benefit here for 2025. There is still that $10 copay for your annual vision exam and a $25 materials copay for prescription glasses. Note that within that copay, you're going to have included your single line bifocal and line trifocal lenses. You also have some frames allowances of up to $150, and there is an additional discount above that allowance of 20%. If you'd like contact lenses instead of glasses within the benefit period, just note that you would have a $150 allowance with a copay of up to $40 for contact lens fit and evaluation. And as always, we want to encourage you to find in-network providers, and you can do so via that link listed there, that imedvisioncare.com/unum. And then no change to those costs for 2025. Your plan premiums are staying the same. Okay, continuing on to your more ancillary benefit coverages here. So offered to you at no cost. So FCC is paying this benefit at 100% for you. So you receive this automatically as your basic life and AD&D. So AD&D is that accidental death and dismemberment. Your benefit's going to be 2 times your salary to a maximum of $300,000. And just note here that once you reach a certain age, you're going to see that that benefit begins to reduce. So if you're seeing a reduced benefit, just tie that back to potentially if you've reached age 65. And another reminder to update your beneficiaries, and you can do so in Dayforce. Moving on to disability. I hope you're all staying with me. Continue to ask those questions. We're kind of nearing the end of our deck here, so it seems like we've been getting a lot of great participation. We love that. Okay, disability. Again, 100% employer paid, so you have the option, or you will be automatically enrolled in both short-term and long-term disability. Note here that short-term disability is going to be 60% of your weekly earnings, and that long-term is going to be 60% of your monthly earnings. The short-term disability benefit begins on the 15th day of a qualified injury or illness and can last up to 11 weeks. And that long-term disability is going to kick in for those longer periods of time that you're unable to work due to a qualifying disability. And note that that's going to be $10,000 per month following a 90-day elimination period. And that truly can last up to your normal Social Security retirement age. Voluntary life insurance. So you also have the additional option to buy up if you choose to do so for yourself, your spouse, or your children. So as an employee, you have the opportunity to enroll in 10,000 increments at a cap of $750,000 or 5 times your salary. As a spouse, you can enroll in 5,000 increments up to 250,000. And a child, your maximum is going to be 10,000 that you can enroll. Note here for each of those tiers, there is a guaranteed issue amount. So that's $150,000 as an employee, $25,000 as a spouse, and $10,000 as a child. What that really means is that if you enroll in this benefit and you do go over that guaranteed issue, or if you're already over that amount and you choose to increase for 2025, Unum might just be asking you some additional health history questions. So there's just a quick form that you might be required to fill out. Once you submit that, Unum will then review that and determine that higher amount that you've chosen to elect. Okay. Some more worksite voluntary plan options here. So accident insurance through Unum. Again, no change from your prior year here, but really what this insurance provides is just cash benefits paid directly to you after an accident. So we all can be accident prone. We've got some little ones that are accident prone. You can use those funds however you'd like to pay those out-of-pocket deductibles, co-insurance costs, really just even potentially non-medical expenses that might arise because of an accident. So that could be, groceries or childcare. So a really rich benefit for you, and more details are in your benefit guide for this as well. And as mentioned, these are voluntary, so you are paying 100% of those costs if you choose to enroll. And here are your per paycheck and monthly contributions. Another voluntary plan is critical illness, and this is another benefit payment in lump sum that you can use those funds towards medical expenses, also administered through Unum. You have the option to choose which coverage amount you feel the most comfortable with. So whether that's $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000, you can enroll in those increments. And you can also cover your spouse and children at 50% of that coverage amount. Note that these rates are going to be based on age and the coverage level you choose. So play around with that in Dayforce if this is a benefit that's of interest to you. Hospital indemnity. So this helps cover your employees and families with any additional financial impacts from hospitalization. This is another lump sum benefit after a qualified hospitalization. And like the other supplemental coverages, you really can use those funds how you'd like. So if you need to cover additional expenses such as childcare, travel, out-of-pocket medical expenses, co-pays, deductibles, those are all eligible. And on this next slide here, we have just a quick example. This is rates, excuse me. So just again, another voluntary benefit, out-of-pocket, per pay, and monthly costs here for you. And then just to provide some color for an example on that hospital indemnity benefit and how you could use it, this example is following an employee plus spouse coverage tier and following hospitalization in the event of having a newborn. So we know that can be costly. You can see here that your total annual premium would be just around $493, but the opportunity for a total potential benefit of up to $2,200. So that's where that hospital benefit begins to kick in. Again, you'd be eligible for that $1,500 and then a potential $350 for any days additional that you spend in a hospital. So that really just helps bridge a gap. Okay, a few more benefits here. I know we're kind of getting on the top of our hour here, but you guys are doing great with the questions, and we love to see those come through. So a few more slides here. Just want to talk about some additional voluntary coverage. And starting off with that is Legal Shield. So these are voluntary legal benefits. This really helps prepare or update your will. It can help review contracts and documents, all for a pretty low rate here. So the cost per pay period for this coverage is $10.13. And then I'm going to kick over to our next slide here. In conjunction with that, there's also ID Shield. So also administered through Legal Shield, but this is protection for you and your eligible dependents from identity theft and more. So it's really 24/7 support in the event that your private information were to be leaked or exploited. And it's a great option if you want to enroll as an individual or protect your family as well. And then even better, if you guys really like the sound of both legal services, you can actually bundle both those plans. So there is a dual option plan here. You'd get the additional benefit of credit counseling and education, and again, really low costs here to help cover your family for both legal and identity theft services. Okay. Employee Assistance Program. So the EAP, also administered through Unum, no change here. Free service to you. I highly encourage that you take advantage of this as needed. You have access to 3 face-to-face sessions with a counselor. There are online resources, legal and financial consultations, and really there's a whole list here that you can see that they can assist you with. It's available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, any day of the year, including nights, weekends, and holidays. So if you're feeling like you need some additional support and you want that support to be confidential, just know that you can reach out to that number that's listed on your screen here and talk with a counselor or schedule an appointment. Okay. Now that we've walked through all of your benefit offerings, next steps here are jumping into Dayforce and making those active benefit enrollment elections. We know that the window is closing on the 13th, which is Wednesday next week. So we encourage you to jump into the system as soon as you can to complete that enrollment. And if you are completing your enrollment and you have questions, we definitely want to encourage you to reach out. So you have some great resources here through Cigna and as well as your IMA broker team. So you can reach out to myself or you can reach out to the Ask Charlie team here. We really are happy to help answer any of your benefit questions, just as we've been doing throughout this deck today. And then, of course, you can always reach out to your Family Care Center HR benefits team as well. So listed all those contacts here for you. I'll note too that all of this information is in your benefit guide, and we definitely want to encourage you to flip through that, sit down with any family members that you also want to review that information with, and just take some time to make some plan selections that are going to be good for you in 2025. Okay, I just talked for a long time. If anyone has additional questions and wants to jump off mute, we can go ahead and jump into those. Charlene, is there anything else in the chat that we want to call out to the group?
No, I don't think so. If there's anybody in the chat that has any additional questions, or if I didn't address your question, please, you can speak up now too.
So I had a question with the high deductible plan when you're doing the health savings account. Can you change your allotment like at different times during the year?
Yes, you can. Yeah, for the money that you're putting into your health savings account, yes, you can.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at some of these questions in the chat, and these are some really good questions.
All right, well, if no one else has any questions, feel free to hop off. We'll give you gift of time. Just quick reminders, it is an active enrollment, so make sure you go into Dayforce and successfully submit that event. You have up until next Wednesday to make any changes. If you do submit it and want to redo it, you certainly can. Just make sure it shows that it is submitted and in green before, by the end of day next Wednesday. And then just let your
Vanessa?
coworkers know. Yes.
We did get a question. Will the presentation be in Dayforce that you're recording? I know we're recording it today.
Yes, we are recording it right now. It will be posted on our SharePoint site, and the SharePoint link will be posted in Dayforce. So you'll be able to navigate to it, but if you have questions and want the link directly, you can email the benefits box and we can send it to you. Otherwise, it'll be posted on the SharePoint site.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yep, just let everyone know around you that they have to submit their benefits if they want to keep them for next year. And we have 2 more of these, one more this afternoon and another one tomorrow, if they want to hop on and hear the presentation or listen, ask any questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for jumping on.
Yes, thank you all. I
Give
will
it a
go ahead
couple.
and stop recording for now. We can